When Nelson Mandela returned from prison, he got separated with Winnie Mandela and went to stay in a house of the rich white men. He was looked after by the Oppenheimers. Nelson Mandela used to attend the club meetings of those white men who owned the South African economy at the time. He stayed in their complex. He stayed with them. He stayed in one of their houses. They had access to him 24 hours. And they told him that what he represents will not be achieved. And then that's when he turned against himself. Because the Nelson we are celebrating now is not the Nelson we celebrated before prison and during prison. It's a staged, managed Nelson Mandela.
Your Majesties, today we are talking about something that is crucial in our lives as people living in Alkebulan and people who have a connection with the motherland. Those of us who are outside in the diaspora as well, because it concerns us directly or indirectly. I would want us to think deeper today. I want us to reason deeper, a lot more deeper. The fact that when we have leaders in Alkebulan who struggle, of course, the story of Nelson Mandela is an emotional one, because when you talk about him, he's like a leader who was imprisoned for so many years, and later on, his dream of ruling his people, he achieved it. Even though he suffered a lot for many years in prison, he left prison and then he ruled his people, and statements like that. But there is something in the picture that most of the times, I think some of us get it, some of us do not get it. And that particular thing is that people like this, when they take them, they do not remain the same when they come back. Like you heard him saying, the Nelson prior to the prison was a different Nelson to the one that came after the prison. Because the Nelson prior to prison time, his characters, what he does, everything he believes in, his belief system, whatever of course, everything was different from the one that left prison. And you think he's still the same? They tampered with him. They shattered his dream. They did something to him. That is exactly what I want us to understand. You know, this is a bit similar. I see this happening in most of our countries in Alkebulan. The West is always playing games with us. They play with our psychology, they play with our reasoning. You know, that's why they always say we are stupid, because they do these things and hide it in plain sight, and we still don't understand, because they make you feel they are the best. All this Ugbe case. Now, it's a bit similar to the Nigerians, what they experience with the present president, the one that is about going off, Muhammadu Buhari. There was a time that it was rumored that Buhari was dead. That he was dead, and that they even buried him, and that the wife was even aware. And around that time, a Buhari came back and could not access the house in Abuja, the presidential villa. He couldn't access it. Normally, it is through the thumb. He used the thumb, the door didn't open. And a lot of eyebrows were raising, like people were like, what is happening? The security men tried to cover everything, but it was aired. Like that wasn't, they couldn't hide it. Those who were smart and understand knew that something is off. Do you know they had to fly him back to the West? They flew him back to the Mbe case, and then when he came back, I don't know, maybe they changed the whole system in the presidential villa, and then everything, and they want everybody to believe that nothing is wrong. So it is either he died really and they forged another person. Of course, they clone people. The real one might have gone, died and buried, but what they bring to you is a clone. Because even they themselves clone each other. They have a clone, the spare person they have. You listen to all these musicians, the ones that are in quest for power and are into this supremacist whatever, they have their clones. There was even one that came up and was saying that he is true. The second one is his clone, and whenever he said, people think he's crazy, that he's not crazy. And he brought it, like he made a video with the clone. Now, they make people feel that, no, it's those who are against the success of the party that is raising unnecessary opera, like they're just trying to cause trouble from where trouble is not in existence. But those that know. Now, what are we saying? When Nelson came back from prison, he was never the same. He was never the same. His dreams, his aspiration, the fire in him, everything was not the same. And I wouldn't even be surprised if that wasn't Nelson. I wouldn't be surprised if Nelson had died. Maybe they tortured him to death a long time ago, and then they produced a clone and brought him out. It's not surprising. Or they forced him into, they torture him, or he's under their spell, or he's under something. Because he was never the same. Did you notice it? Did you notice it? Do you feel it's happening? Even up until today, it happens. Those of our brothers in Al-Kabulan that discover things, those who are so much intelligent, are doctors, are nurses that go out to work, they are never the same. That work under these Mbekis, they are never the same. Sweethearts, that is why they will never even have the idea in them, okay, let me try, round up myself, put myself together and return to my own hometown. They feel, oh, we're in heaven. The West is heaven. Even if it's perishing, we're going to perish with it. Because there is something they always do to them. There's something they do to them so they don't reason like they reasoned before. And these things are done deliberately to control, like mind control. They cast spells. And they think people will not discover it. Like I said, this is a new word. A word where their secret is exposed. The power they have, they do not have such power anymore. Because even right before their eyes, the power is slipping away. And so they are trying to rely on technology to make them immortals, to live forever. So I just feel like sharing this here today. What do you think? And then there are other persons, there are other things that when it gets into the hands of its Mbekes, it comes back and never remains the same. It is broken, it is frustrated, be it human, be it an idea, be it whatever. When they return, they always return broken. They are always returned frustrated. They always return with less hope. Because something is done to them behind the scenes. And it's because we are not capable enough to protect our own. And that is why right before our eyes, our own is taken away and being used, manipulated against us. It's not that we don't have the resources. It's not that we don't have the manpower. It's not like we don't have the wisdom. What we lack is unity. I think I've been saying this here now. I will always say it. We lack unity as Al-Kabalans. We lack unity in the motherland. And that is why it pains me when I begin to see some Al-Kabalans in the diaspora trying to all like seriously excluding themselves, telling themselves they are something else other than Al-Kabalan, trying to create fear in the minds of others, Al-Kabalans in the diaspora, like forging other lies. Oh, this is what is happening in Al-Kabalan. Al-Kabalan is not a place to go to. You get my point? Like, trying to forge off hate. So that we keep fighting each other, we keep hating on each other. There's no unity. Within us in Al-Kebul land, how much united are we? If we are so united, then we should freely move around every part of Al-Kebul land. You as a citizen, even, before you go to another country, you need a passport. You need visa, sorry. Why are we tying ourselves to most of these things that we should, these people came and created borders. But they themselves, they are moving around themselves freely. Even they move here in Al-Kebul land freely than we ourselves that are the owner of Al-Kebul land. Something is really wrong with our system. We have to sit and ask ourselves questions. Unity is key. When we are divided, you understand what will happen. But when we are together, we will achieve whatever we set our minds to. And Al-Kebul land would surely live by its name, the mother of mankind, the Garden of Eden. What do you think? Leave your comments and thoughts there at the section, and I will see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive. Bye for now.